Today we build a river table from firewood. Recently it seems to be mandatory for all makers to build at least one river table. So we will replace this traditionally made table with a modern river table design. It's a small dollhouse table, which makes it easy to put it into storage when the trend is over. I start with a small piece of yellow plum firewood that I cut in thin strips on the bandsaw. Between each cut, I take a light pass over the jointer and sand the face smooth on the belt sander. This way it's easier to hold the wood safely. With more sanding, I also sand the other face smooth. It's the first time that I'm building model-size furniture, so if you have any advice, please leave me a comment. Next, I cut one of the middle pieces in half to create the tabletop. I mark the area of the tabletop and cut the sides with the bandsaw and plane them straight with a block plane. The crosscuts are made with a handsaw. I got a few glass offcuts and traced the rough shape of the bark to the glass. Using a drop of oil and a glass cutter, I follow the lines. If you have a high quality cutter, press the glass firmly down and cut in one pass. You should always be able to break the glass easily along the line. By destroying a belt on my belt sander, I break the sharp edges of the glass and remove minor bumps. To transfer the shape of the glass to the wood, I firmly attach it with double stick tape to a thin piece of plywood that should become my template. I am very careful to not touch the glass with the router bits blade. As the plywood is too shallow to support my guide bushing, I copy the shape to a thicker piece of ply. Next, I cut my shape using two different combinations of guide bushings and router bits. The first combination is a 5mm router bit with a 17mm bushing. This combination cuts a slot at a distance of 11mm from my template edge. With a scroll saw, I connect the two slots and create one large pocket. With a 30mm bushing and an 8mm router bit, I cut in a distance of 11mm from the template edge and thus create a pocket that should be identical to the size of my original piece of glass. Before screwing the template in place, I carefully check that the bark is everywhere at the same distance from the template edge. I use the glass itself to set the depth of the router and route out the pocket. While this method worked perfectly in my mind, I ended up with an undersized pocket. I actually was not able to identify the problem. Either I've picked the wrong router bit or there's an error in my reasoning. If you have any ideas, please leave a comment. I can nevertheless assemble the tabletop. It's just a bit wider than originally planned. From the rest of the firewood, I cut a few narrow boards and sand them smooth. With a Japanese handsaw, I cut the boards at an angle of 5 degrees according to my drawing. You could most likely get away with a simple butt joint, but I decided to improve the stability and the look with a half-lap joint at each corner. Cutting such a small joint and paring it down with a chisel is quite a bit of a challenge. The legs are then glued together and everything gets a coat of spray lacquer. The table is assembled with a little bit of superglue. I like the wood of the yellow plum for the table as it really resembles the sand of a river. It was a fun project that got inspired by the firewood challenge at the woodworking subreddit. If you're interested in a variety of other, mostly larger sized projects, please subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram to have a look at future projects.